Morning, everybody. We are setting out for our first trek up to Table Mountain, which is a trail that's on the north side of the Columbia River, just east of Portland. Once again, we're doing a lot of hikes around the gorge lately. There's some really nice ones. This is a pretty steep one. It's supposed to be rated one of the tougher ones in the area. And it's also not as easy to find the trail. So there's a lot of old World War II roads that we have to follow to make our way up to the Pacific Coast Trail, which connects to the one we're on and then heads up to the summit. The other thing to keep in mind here, I can't really see it, but down the road where we came from is Moffat Hot Springs. There's technically no trailhead markings, and there's no parking area specifically for hikers other than the Hot Springs Resort. So just go down there. It's $5. You go into the front desk and pay the $5. They give you a little ticket to put in your car, and they're really nice about it. It's pretty quick. So we noticed there were about 5 or 6 other cars down there heading up. We talked to a couple of folks just making their way here, and you'll notice that, if you can see here, trails are kind of hidden. Little sign marker, so we got lucky. But from what I understand, the trails are like this quite a way. So we're going to take our time and follow our map. We're prepared with map and compass, and we're going to make sure that we stay on the trail. So we'll check in with you in a little bit. Come along with us for the adventure. All right, so we made it past the first mile or so, which is the trail from the Bonneville Hot Springs, from the Moffat Hot Springs. And what we're on now is the old Jeep trail. So you can see the trail behind us. It's pretty wide. And this is the World War II road. So it's Jeep passable if you had a pretty good four-wheel drive with clearance. But there are a couple of turns left and right. And thankfully, I'll have to put the link to the video in the description of this one that we watched before we came. The hikers that did it before showed pictures of where the turns were, so we remembered them. Made it a lot easier. Now, we double checked our maps just to be sure, and we're on the right trail. So the first part wasn't so bad. There were some steep parts to it, but the trail was pretty narrow and barely maintained. So it went through some thick scrub, had a couple of scrambles up some stumps, but beautiful little forest. And there were a couple of steep jaunts, and then now we're on the Jeep trail. Now, right. Here is the last intersection.
Table Mountain.
You can see right there, Table Mountain is that way. And then if we wanted to go to Aldrich Butte, which is a shorter hike to a little overlook of the gorge and the river, that would be to our left. So we are heading up to the right. We should be getting to a meadow soon, and then the fork to the loop. And the loop has 2 sides. The western side, which is longer but easier, and then the right-hand side, the eastern side, is called Heartbreak Ridge.
Boulder fields, all we have to
with a boulder field. So we're going Heartbreak Ridge first, and then taking the easy way back. So we'll check in with you in just a minute. Well, in an hour or so.
When we get to the meadow.
Right, when we get to the meadow. Hey guys. All right, so we made it up the base part of the trail, connected up with the Pacific Coast Trail, and then we made it to the loop. So this is Heartbreak Ridge. You see behind us, it is one of the steepest trails I've hit so far, and almost a climb, greater than 45 degrees for sure. So it's pretty straight up. So there were a couple people went ahead of us. Not too heavily trafficked, but there's enough people that you feel like if you needed somebody, they're not far. But it's really quiet, and the trail's pretty clean. So, whew, feel the calves burning on this one. Okay, so we've done well here. We're gonna hit this pretty hard, and then when we get to the rocks, we'll check in and see if we can see across the ridge to where the old landslide happened. I'll show you when we get there. All right, off the trail. All right, so we made it to the top of Heartbreak Ridge, and that was the steepest climb I've ever made in my life. It is hard to understate how good it feels to be on flat ground. It is beautiful. We're not at the summit yet, but at least we're not slogging straight up that mountain. That was almost all fours in some spots.
And we're really close to the clouds.
Yeah, so that was one step at a time. All right, only this much left, and we're there. Onward and upward. So we made it past Heartbreak Ridge, and this little bit of trail that comes out to this. That is an incredible view. That is part of the landslide. That mountain broke. It cracked. From what I've read, geologists said around 1700, a major earthquake hit, cracked this mountain. It slid down and actually dammed the Columbia River, at least part of it, for a while. But yeah, we're still heading up there. Our trail's over that way though, so. But that is just incredible. All right, back to the trail. right, so we made it. That was rough. That was rough. So we're gonna take the easier way down, but you can kind of see a couple other people up here with us. The view is unbelievable of the gorge. This is huge. So up here, you can kind of see where those people are sitting over here. What happened was, 1700s or so, this half of the mountain, a huge earthquake slid down and crumbled this part of the mountain down into the gorge there, down to the Columbia River, as you can see down there. And this was way up here. So I ain't got no energy left. We're gonna sit, drink some water, and then start heading down the slope. A couple hours down. We'll see you down. Whew, at the bottom. All right, we survived. We were back at the car. The down part was worse. My knees are definitely telling me what how hard that was, and my feet. I think I'm gonna have blisters for a little while, but we made it. We made it alive. We survived it. That's the hardest thing I've done. Physically, the hardest thing I've ever done. I don't think I've ever done anything like that, even including the hikes I've done as a kid in Florida, 10, 15 miles. Nothing compares to that. This was pretty intense. So we're done. We're in the car. We're not going to move for a while. We're going to go refuel and rehydrate and then nap. I think we're going to nap for a little while. Thanks for coming along for the adventure. See you next time.